Okay, I've had some people ask about the build on this 2 kilowatt diesel heater. It's a Harbor Freight Apache 3800 case. I did buy a large diesel tank that fits it. It has its own draw tube that's threaded. Still leaks a bit. Mine was cracked when I got it, so it's been glued. Overall, it works fairly well. Lasts for a good 3 nights. I did get the through-hole exhaust port. I tried to just use all the parts from the kit itself, so I just drilled and put the heater exhaust right through the front. I added an SAE port for the cables. I used the duct vents. The top one is for the recycled air or for the heat itself. The bottom is just the vent for the combustion intake. I did, because this tank is heavier, I did have to make some feet for the bottom so it doesn't tip forward. Open it up here. Got my cable with the 7-pin to SAE adapter on it so I can hook it into the back of the Jeep. Just make sure your battery can handle running it all night. They don't take a lot of power, but don't get stranded. Have some backup. I keep the little remote clipped in here. Keep the exhaust and a short piece of tubing. So inside you'll see a little bit of kill mat that I had left over from a previous build. It's more for silencing than heat shielding. I did wrap the exhaust. You can kind of see how everything's built here. The end of the heater's just pushed through. I took off the intake little screen. Just ran a chunk of the ducting to one of the vents. Used the hose clamps around it. I shortened all my cables up. There's the fresh air intake for the combustion. These little foam blocks just help hold it tight. I had them from some other project. I have no idea what it was from. You can see here I just put the base plate in my vise and bent it at 290-degree angles. We'll get her hooked up here. I'm going to pause and then I'll show you how it starts up. Alright, we've got the SAE cable hooked up. Viair makes a 7-pin to SAE connector that I got on Amazon, but you can also just make one for about half the price. This plugs into here. I think it's about a 10-foot, 10-gauge SAE cable. Get it on this side, you can see it's powered on, or has power. It's not on yet. Here we go. And if you wanted to save some battery, you could always have your vehicle running during the startup, and then it shouldn't take much at all out of your vehicle battery or your auxiliary battery. We'll come back in a bit here when it's fired up. Alright. About 30 seconds later, it's starting to smoke a bit. You see some black soot on my case because when I first got this heater, the fan was rubbing on a gasket inside. so it was blowing black sooty and filling up the exhaust. I took it apart and fixed that, and since then it's been working great. For now, I've just been running a hose into the annex, but I think I might get a 60mm to 75mm adapter so I can use a larger, longer, flexible ducting for the tent. Alright, well, it's going through its heat up. Works great. It gets quieter as it gets heated. Let me know if you have any questions.